to the Dave Emmons Show. And today I have I guess he's fairly new at this broadcasting. He's done a couple of shows. His name's Les Durrant, and
Hello.
that's what I want to that's what I want to get into people, that have information and ideas and experiences they want to share. So that's where we're at with Les. And
Yes.
we're gonna do about 59 minutes of this, and we're gonna let Les talk about UFOs, ghost hunting, and paranormal, and his joining MUFON. He's actually got a degree in sound engineering, and
Yes.
he's into binaural beats,
Yep.
and you'll have to
Yep.
explain it to us, I guess, being a
Sure.
professional. And they just saw a black animal around their property. They live up in the mountains, and so
Yeah.
we had to choose how we're going to do this, and let's come up with doing the phone thing with the reception. So, okay, without further ado, uh, Les Durrant, and you live in what, South Carolina or North Carolina?
I live actually a few miles south of North Carolina. I live in Mineral Bluff, Georgia, and Mineral Bluff is right on the two borders of the Tennessee and North Carolina.
Okay.
And they and then also and because we live in Georgia, the trees in our yard are in Georgia, and the mountains are in North Carolina and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you pay taxes to? All of them?
Yeah, sometimes we do, really, but we actually, really, we do go to the different towns around here. So we go to Murphy, North Carolina. We go to the casino there, and then we go to Tennessee to do some stuff, and then I go into Blue Ridge to work. Yeah.
Oh, it's a tri-state gamer right there. Yeah. Well, that
Yes,
must be interesting, to do that. And then, of course, you live in the beautiful mountains there, uh,
we do.
and you got all kinds of critters crawling all over the place up in them hills.
We sure do. Yes. Yeah. We've got some interesting animals, I would have to say. Now, I'm a city boy. I grew up mostly in Lubbock, Texas, and then I lived also on the island of Guam when I in the military. My dad was in the military, and that's where I met my wife. Actually, we were both kids, but so I'm kind of a city boy. So I'm not really familiar with a lot of the animals around here. And just a few minutes ago, my wife came in and said, "I think I just saw something." And it was black, and it looked like a dog, but it had really pointy black ears, and it looked thicker, and it looked more like a cat, actually more like a cat. And I said, well, let's go take a look at it. And she showed me the prints, and they look quite different. And I even got some pictures myself that were something I couldn't really explain. And the reason why all this comes up is because I do have some crazy cryptid pictures from Arkansas that I think are Bigfoot and something else. It's a cryptid that I don't know what it is, and I'm going to have to get that to you as well. I
Right.
have shown some. I have shown some hunters from Tennessee to Texas to Georgia, in North Carolina, everywhere, and they have not seen anything like it.
Right. And just
Um,
a while ago, your wife saw this black object like an animal had pointed ears,
yeah.
unlike a bear, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and the reason why that also comes up too is because there have been some bear sightings around here. Yes, definitely. Um, but I was saying that this mountain used to have black panthers, and I was like, a black panther. Once again, I don't know anything about that, but I do know what a black panther looks like.
Right.
So that could very well be it. And I'm really my wife hangs out with me with the paranormal, and especially with the Bigfoot cryptid stuff. We're
Right.
both into that. Yeah, she likes the UFOs, but she's kind of getting kind of tired of me saying, "Hey, I just found another object." that you
So,
know,
hey,
uh,
let's get this out of the way. I'm a musician. I've been so for 45 years, and
yes,
also I'm a book writer. So I always try to sell my books on
go
the
for it.
air, and that's my book. What do they want? And it's still out there on sale, people. So buy it. And also my second book. I'm sorry to take up the time for advertising, but And there's my second book, Senseless Wars, and it's a memoir and also about the senseless war we've been fighting, all the blood and treasure lost. But I want to get this out of the way too, since I said a musician. You interview country music artists.
I
and
do.
You do. And who is the most famous artist you have ever interviewed?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to say most people know Johnny Lee.
Yeah.
You know, Picking Up Strangers and all that. I interviewed him, and then just I'd just say a month ago, I interviewed Richard Young of the Kentucky Headhunters,
Okay.
and had a chance to even get on his bus. Do you know the Dumas Walker song?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Used to
You
play
ever
that.
you ever
Used to play their
yeah
music, Walker. Yeah.
you ever heard of a bottle of ski? Do you know what that is?
That's a bottle of moonshine, ain't it?
No, ski is soda.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
That. Well, they don't drink very hard stuff then, do they?
No. Now, if you want to see moonshine, hey, I can throw in a quick plug. Granddaddy Mims, Blairsville, Georgia. Yeah, they're all legit.
Right
Yeah.
up your backyard, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I'm all about showing you stuff. I mean, if you want to see North Carolina and Tennessee, I can show you that too. And I'm also ADHD, just to let you know about that. So I will, but I'm going to try to stay focused. Yeah. So Kentucky Headhunters, they even invited me on the bus, and that was just awesome to be able to get on the bus with somebody and hang out and hey, how you doing? And then I've been interviewing quite a few people. I interview a lot of local artists as well that have done well. So yeah, I love doing it.
What
I don't
about this,
promote this.
yeah,
Go
what
ahead.
about binaural beats? What does that associate with the musicians?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does actually. Give me a C. Do you know what the frequency of the C is?
Not really. I know what a C is, though. I can play guitar, but I don't know the frequency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, a C is 440 hertz, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you put 440 hertz in one ear, and then you put 445 hertz in another ear. And you can get these sound generators that'll do this. There's apps you can actually get. So then what you start to hear in your head is a spinning sound.
Wow.
And then in the spinning sound is the difference frequency. So from 400 to from 440 to 445, it's 5 hertz.
Okay.
So they say those hertz that you can't hear are beneficial.
Yeah,
So
the hum, that hum that's below 20 hertz. Yeah,
yes,
I hear that.
exactly.
I hear that.
Okay. Yes. Now you can play around with those and get all kinds of different things, and they're really good for hypnotism, and they're good for tinnitus.
Yeah.
They're good for experimenting to I call it brain massage. It's almost hard to explain, but you'll hear this like that.
Wow.
And
Almost
the
like
tones in your, go ahead.
it's almost like being drunk with a hang.
It can be, yeah, sure, it can be, and yeah, it can also. There is also to where they're binaural beats, but they're almost like they work like medication too. Yeah. They're called eye dosers.
Wow.
Yeah, to where those frequencies all together in a certain pattern will give you that feeling. So, and that's a good thing. Are they will they hurt you? No. There is a caveat. I will say, I think 7 hertz, you have to do some research on that. 6 hertz.
I listen to Led Zeppelin trying to warm my ears up for the show, mm-hmm. and I usually listen to music to get me hyped up. Now, Led Zeppelin plays all kinds of sounds. You'll hear all kinds of hertz in their music.
Yes, you do.
AC/DC.
Yes. and I wish I could remember, you brought up Led Zeppelin. There's a song where you can actually hear his drum pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what isn't, no, not that one is, I'll have to get that to you too. My brain's kind of gone, but having a really good ear, you can hear a lot of stuff. So, yeah, so binaural beats, look it up. It's a really good thing to be able to experiment with. It's easy. Uh, there's a lot of different companies that will mix them also with uh, noise as well.
Okay, since we're talking about this sound thing and your degree in your sound, you
Yes.
mentioned UFOs and recording a sound from them.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
There is a show that is on Discovery, and it's Discovery Plus, and it's called Contact. And last night, and we're talking about episode 1. So these researchers are going out to check on these different cases, and they said that there was this place where they had thought that they were hearing these crazy tones, and they didn't know why. They didn't know what they were, but there was UFOs seen in these towns when this was going on. And so they came across 2 different recordings from 2 different parts of the town. So they took him to a guy who does audio engineering and is an analyst. However, I don't know if they didn't show the whole thing, but they didn't show them a frequency analyzer. And what a frequency analyzer does is it records the specific frequency. So I figured, what the heck? I could actually hear the frequencies coming across my stereo. So I figured, what the heck? I'll see what would happen. So I recorded the first one, and the first frequency was 193 hertz. And the second one was 3380 hertz. So they're kind of like really high pitched. Well, the analyst could only see it. He was looking at a waveform that was going across, where I look at bars going up and down. So if the 440C goes 440, and then 440, 460, like that. So I can see the difference in those. That would be a 10 hertz binaural beat, by the way. Okay, so then they played the second tape. The second tape had the first frequency was a little different. It was 256 hertz, but the second frequency was 3380, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, and I was able to reproduce those. So what does that tell us? Well, that means that yes, there is some kind of effect happening in this town. Could it be something else? It could. But my concern is that, why is it very prominent in 2 different places at the same time? And why are the frequencies very pronounced? Especially when that's what they were talking about.
Right.
So, and I know it can kind of get kind of a little off, but if the reason why I say this too is because I live up here in the mountains, and sometimes it's extremely quiet. We're talking like to where you can almost hear your heartbeat quiet. There is, and talk about frequencies, there's a nature frequency. There's a couple of them. One is 107 hertz. If you download a spectrum analyzer right now and install it on your phone, you're going to see 107 come up quite often, and 168. So even with those going on, I couldn't see hardly anything else on my spectrum analyzer. That's how quiet it gets. So whenever there's something that happens up here that sounds a little off, I always get mine out just to see what it is. And I do see some crazy stuff. So kind of sorry to ramble on that a little bit.
That's all right. We're talking about UFOs, and can you take and recreate these frequencies and maybe attract UFOs?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Excellent. I love that, because that's why we could do that. Yes. Easy. all you have to do is get out your phone, download a generator, and type in 3380 and play that, and there you go. The other frequencies are kind of low. They're okay. So if you remember, you know where C is. C is 440.
Right.
Say so 190 or one something and below. That's kind of bassy.
Yeah. Well, you got a low
Yeah.
C and then you got a high C, and they're
Yes.
separated by several octaves.
Exactly. Yes.
So you want to go
So
high?
that
Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no. So what I'm saying is the 193 that came up, that one's going to be a little bit harder to kind of reproduce loud, but that other one, the 3380, can easily be reproduced. So yeah, and then combine that with the laser. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I
You ever
just
tried?
saying.
You ever try to put it on an amplifier and a speaker outside and try to connect
Not
UFOs?
not yet, because
You're getting it.
not yet, because I discovered it last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the kind of stuff I like to experiment. I don't like to go overboard with that,
Right.
but uh, but with that, yes, that it could be very well a way to attract. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Now you sent some pictures in Facebook, and you had some glowing orbs. Could you tell us about some of the pictures you've taken of UFOs?
Okay, yeah. So here we go. All right. So I'm gonna go back. Let's go just a little bit back to my paranormal side.
Right.
Um, my wife, when me and my wife, when we met up again after knowing each other as kids, I had just gone through my wife passing away. She's 20. We were married for 23 years, and I was at a radio station, and I could swear I'd see this black mask going by, her shadow figures. So when she came down, I said, "You know what? I'm seeing this shadow figure. I'm thinking it could be my wife who passed away." She said, "Oh, well, I used to be a ghost hunter in Idaho." What? How? With my phone? I'm like, okay, and just doing EVPs. So sure enough, we walked around. We were asking, and I said, "Who is this?" And it said my wife's name, Shauna, which was just nuts. And I'm married to Claudette, so yeah.
Oh,
Um, so then, fast forward to April of 2021, we came down here to Blue Ridge. There's a known haunted house called the Chastain House, and there's a bunch of bad stuff that happened back in the 1800s. But my wife had a camera, and she was just videotaping, and she was getting orbs, and I knew what orbs were from watching the ghost shows, but didn't know much about it. And so she told me about that, and so when I saw those orbs, that just blew me away. I just thought that was just amazing. And then we're gonna leave the orbs for a little bit later until I get into some quantum physics. But yeah, so then I figured, well, heck, if I can get orbs, then maybe I can record some cool clouds or something. So I put my phone on a stand with Velcro, and I just put it together. Put a little Velcro across the stand, put it up there, and put my phone on. Just aiming up to the sky like that, and we were in Searcy, Arkansas, and these C-130s used to fly over daily around noon, about 5 of them, and they would always fly over in formation. We lived about 45 miles from Little Rock, and so I downloaded the video into my computer, and this is what I want everybody to do. I downloaded this into my computer, and I watched it frame by frame and second by second. And when it got to the part with the planes, I noticed that there were some objects that were following the planes. I didn't know what they were, but I zoomed in, and there wasn't anything I could explain. It wasn't birds, it wasn't bugs, because I knew where all my stuff was set up. And even going back now, um, I am finding objects on that tape, and I do have that tape available. If anybody wants to see it, I have it on Google Drive. I'd be more than happy to share the link for the full
sure.
30-minute drive video. I could tell you exactly where all the bookmarks are.
Yeah, you can share it now if you want. I mean, so people can probably start looking it up.
Yeah, actually, because I'm on my cell phone, I'm not able to. Are you able to? I don't know if you can go back, or I don't know of a way where I could put it in here.
Yeah, maybe
or else I would.
we'll wait towards the end of the show.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Okay,
Right.
so then I was like, wow, this is really awesome. I did it a few more days in a row, and I kept finding these weird objects. I would find silver ones. I would find orbs. I would find things that looked what I call organic because they looked like they were alive. And then, so let's see. Oh, yeah. So then we came down here to Georgia to visit my mom. And this is before we ended up kind of staying down here. So I stuck my camera outside of my mom's house and went back, and I found a rolling object. It's a pink object that rolls down, and it's biconal, or it looks, if you put two cones together, one on the other end, it kind of flops like this and turns.
Right.
I forget I'm on the camera. Yeah, it kind of flops like that and turns. So that one, I've been very pleased because that one came back as an unknown from MUFON. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And that was at my mom's house, and it just makes me feel good because I got to show my mom, and I got to show my dad, because my dad's in the VA now, and he's got dementia, but he got to see that, and I'm going to get a little off subject, but I also showed him Bob Lazar,
Yeah.
the the video, the movie Bob Lazar on Netflix. Now
Yeah.
you got to remember, my dad's 81. He was asking me about Bob Lazar. He's like, "Can you find me some more Bob Lazar? Find me some more Bob Lazar." And then,
That's
then I
pretty.
also showed him.
That's neat. You know. Yeah.
Then I also showed him Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh.
And he's like, "Hey," and then he'd call me, "Hey, Skinwalker, come here, let's watch some movies." I love that,
Yeah.
but it's nice to get confirmation from your parents to say, "Hey, yeah, I find UFOs and I find ghosts."
Right.
And even my mom is now, she's very encouraging. But since then I've found another UFO. I've done, before I give the bigger information, I've done some seminars um, where I've talked to some people who didn't believe in the science. And this one lady walked away crying, and she said, "They really are real." And I said, "Yes, ma'am, they really are." And that's, I don't joke about it. I don't say, "Ha ha." I'm like, "No, because you're changing people's minds
Yes,
and
and
their
you're doing
mindset."
good. You're good, doing good by enlightening people to this topic, and
Thank
that's
you.
what I try to do. And it is a difficult job to explain to people who don't believe. I didn't.
Yes.
I don't. I don't feel fortunate for you for being in front of a crowd that you have to try to make them believers. That's hard to do.
I will tell you this. I do have a daughter who is a big time non-believer. She doesn't believe in anything. We'll just say that. But she's young. So, and she doesn't live with me, so I don't have a way of like saying, "Hey, sit down and let me show you my stuff," because that's what I did with my other daughter in Texas. But that's okay. I don't diss them for that, because still it's their beliefs. But I would want them to, you know, respect their, I wouldn't say respect their dad, but just kind of respect my decision and the things that I do. That
Actually,
will
you
go.
explain to them the Pentagon's are they're saying it's real, and the military saying
Oh,
it's real. Yeah.
oh
So,
yeah.
oh, and I want to
So
mention
they
something else. You must be a true Southern boy because you can't get out of the South. You've been in Texas,
exactly.
in Arkansas, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. Can't get you out
Yeah.
of the South, huh?
That's right. Now, yeah, yeah, exactly. Now I will toss this in here because of where I'm at, in Mineral Bluff, Georgia. We talk about Bigfoot and UFOs, and we don't smile about it. Yeah, they're like, yeah, a lot of people have seen Bigfoot up here.
Yeah.
Even at my mom's house, I've got a picture of a footprint, but that's kind of getting off the subject. But I had somebody tell me that because they think I've got a portal above where I live. I do have a video of objects disappearing above where I live. this will bring me into my next announcement that a couple of days before Christmas, because of a bunch of people's encouragement, I have joined MUFON to be a field investigator. I've met one of the big guys at MUFON, Earl Grey Anderson. His friend wrote the field investigator book, so I'm very excited. I've had a lot of good feedback from a lot of people. It just really blows me away because I get people who send me video to analyze now. Even last night, because it was snowing here, I didn't have any extra video to look at, so I downloaded some video, some time-lapse video from YouTube of sky. And yeah, I find stuff. It's my wife's like, of course.
Yeah.
My wife's like, of course you do.
Yeah, I was a MUFON investigator for a little while. Dave Marler, he's not in MUFON now, but he's on his own. He's got a huge library. Nice guy, and he's written a couple of books on triangle UFOs. But he taught me, to be a MUFON investigator. For one, I look at MUFON as being, you can't go in to an experiencer being a total skeptic. You've got to be open-minded, and you got to listen to everything on both sides of it, and don't offer discouragement. I guess you know that. There are some investigators who kind of, up front kind of nix it a little bit because these people say, okay, this guy doesn't believe me. So once they think that way, they'll shut up. So that's the secret of going along with people, believing what they say. That's why I have this show. I mean, I like having new people on because I want to hear their stories. Yeah. Other people want to hear the stories, like you. Now, tell me about your most fascinating UFO find.
Oh my gosh!
You got one that almost scared the poop out of you?
Well, okay, yeah. And I'm kind of laughing because my wife was also with me around this time too. Now, all of my experiences are not necessarily all on video. We get a lot of stuff up here at night, and I have been recording. I have been putting my security camera out at night and catching some stuff. And I've been told too that once you start to see them, they know you're there.
Right.
And and I shine the laser up there a couple of times, but it's not like something that I like doing, but it was something I wanted to try. And now I hate saying this, but like every time I go outside, I hear planes, and I know they're not all planes. Does that make sense?
No, because UFOs can actually, you talk about humans shape-shifting into humans. They can shape-shift their aircraft, their UFOs into an airplane. Yeah.
Yeah. And, there's been a few that have gone over with very brilliant lights in the back, kind of square like this. Yeah. And they kind of twirl like that. They're very brilliant, like yellow. They'll go around like this, white and yellow, and then red. So I see white and red. Now, what differentiates them is, to me, I'm not an aviation guy. I mean, I'll probably be learning the landing lights, but I'm not seeing any green. Now, I do see sometimes green and red, yes. But I see these other ones, and they just do not. They do look triangle to me.
Yeah, lights you got amber, and you got white, and you got green. Those are the colors, and of course, their landing lights are real bright, like headlights. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And, I would be thinking, wouldn't the landing lights would be showing forward instead of underneath, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
You might have red light at the bottom of the plane flashing, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I am seeing bright lights. I'm seeing bright white lights at the bottom. Yeah. And I see that all the time. I mean, you come up here, you stay with me for a week, and it's clear. Like right now, it's clear. Oh, yeah. You'll see some stuff.
Helicopters could use bright lights shining down because they're looking for something, or you're looking for a landing spot. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, I will tell you a helicopter story that goes great with the UFO story. So remember I told you about the C-130s? Well, I figured, what the heck? I'm going to call the Air Force. I called Little Rock Air Force Base Public Affairs Office, and I said, my name is Les Durrant, and I have some UFOs. I think they're following your planes. They kind of chuckled at first, but I sent them some pictures. And then I said, hey, what do you think? They liked them. So I said, well, I've got this thumb drive that has these huge files. Can I take them down to the base, to the gate? So I drove down to the gate, and once again, they laughed at me a little bit until I showed them the pictures. And then they said, okay, Mr. Durrant, we're going to call the public affairs office and see what they want to do. So they had me step outside. If you've ever been to a base gate, usually you can wait inside in the office, but they said, no, Mr. Durrant, you go sit in the car. All right. And of course, this was COVID though, too. So, but anyway, then they come out and said, yes, Mr. Durrant, we do want your thumb drive. Okay, great. Thank you. I had all my information. There wasn't anything I was hiding. A few days later, literally across the street, on top of the elementary school, 3 Black Hawk helicopters went just like this with their guns like that. They were just like that. And my stepdaughter was in the house with me too, and that was a little bit scary. But I think that they just wanted to see where I lived. And then going back to the scariness was that there was one that flew over my head literally after I had a little laser up there, and I'm like going, oh no, oh no. And it did go, it went by, and that was cool. And then I told my wife, and then she wanted to come out. We were going to see if we could see more, but it's going to be that time of the year where it's a little too cold.
Yeah.
But so we do that, and so I'm living a great life now, as always.
The UFOs and these ETs, if they only knew the magic time to come and fly around is when it's really cold, because humans aren't outside too much when it's cold. And
yes,
but of course, if you had a way to see them and stay warm, you might catch a lot of them.
Exactly. Yeah, and as long as it's not too windy, I think it's not too bad. I lived in Lubbock, Texas, where the winds could get 50 miles an hour, and it'd be 20 degrees outside, and your fingers would be like burnt.
Right.
And like today, it was nice. We have snow on top of the mountain. I can't get down to do my show, but I can sure go outside. It's not horrible. But yes, same thing. So they know that I wouldn't say they take advantage of our frailness or whatever, but I would say that yes, they like to hang out in the sun. That's where they get their energy from. I get a lot of objects there. I do have a total of about 40 sightings. I would say they're recordings, so whatever I see, anybody else would see the same thing, but at least I know where I recorded them, that kind of deal. But yeah, so the sun and also the cold would totally make sense, because you can't stare at the sun and you can't stay outside for very long.
Right. I want to remind people they're midway, and we're talking to Les Durrant, and he's got some experiences. And you said you just had a show. Do you have a show down at the bottom of the hill?
I work at a radio station here. I play music, but I don't associate them with my extra terrestrial activities. We'll just say, or extracurricular. But they, they're aware, which is fine. That's all right. And I like to keep them kind of separate. But if I had we were talking about interviewing country stars. I had somebody who said, you know what, you should be a podcaster or whatever. I'm like, no. He said, yeah, just interview anybody. Interview a wrestler, just to find out who they are, right? And I'm like, oh, well, maybe. But that would totally take away from everything else that I do. And I'm sure you could probably understand that as well.
Sure.
You could get all into paranormal and avoid ghost, or just not even whatever. So
well, get an interview with Taylor Swift.
Hey, that'd be cool.
She's running big now.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, her, and there's an artist named Lainey Wilson who's a big country artist as well. That's doing good. Yeah, I do play the hottest hits, and I talk to my listeners like I'm talking to you. Hey, how you doing? What do you want to hear today? Sure. Give me a call, and I'll say, hey, this is for you. This is for this is for you. There you go, for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I've gotten some good luck with that. I really enjoy that. So I'm doing everything that I love to do. I've got an incredible wife, incredible stepdaughter, live in a beautiful place, doing everything I love. It's a great life, and
Good.
being it, and as you know, being able to talk to astrophysicists. I mean, like what? I never took physics.
Oh, you
Talk
talk. Who,
US.
who did you talk to? Machu
I
Picchu.
No. Okay, so I've talked to people like Kenneth Day. Is it Day? Um, I've talked to US earlier. I was talking to a USAF retired aeronautics engineer guy. And I apologize that I'm not doing better, but I also have ADHD with fibromyalgia and brain fog, so I can't really spit some things out. Sometimes I say, "Hey, 3380 hertz," but I
Oh,
can't say who exactly.
welcome to the
you know,
crowd. I can't remember everything myself.
yeah, and that's one way my wife is helping me. She's like, "Okay, we're gonna get you a desk calendar and Rolodex and all that, and you can write down all your times and everything, and okay, and I'm getting together my team, objects and orbs, and I'll tell you about that really quick because that could maybe even transfer into the paranormal. But
Sure.
so I'll go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go on
Okay.
into the paranormal. Sounds like you got a lot of good stories there.
Yes, thank you.
Not
Okay,
stories.
so
I made a mistake.
so
Not stories, experiences.
oh yeah, yeah. So objects and orbs is a way of doing things, and when it comes to paranormal, there's these guys. They're named they it's called Twin Paranormal. They are on YouTube. They are the best ghost hunters I've ever seen. They need their own show. Right now, I think that they have 400,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And I do things like them. I have the same equipment they have. I have these little ghost balls that light up
Yeah.
whenever, not because they're vibrated, because the spirits manipulate them. I have a K2 meter, which measures EMF. I
Yeah.
have another meter called a tri-field meter.
I,
You'll
uh,
see that on Skinwalker. Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. That's one of my babies right there. Love
that's
it.
what I use too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a video of an orb turning off my tri-field meter, and that really ticked me off. A lot of people say, "Oh, orbs are dust." No, 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 no. Orbs. The reason why we see orbs is because of quantum physics. But I'm not. Let me not get into that unless we have time. Um,
Now,
so
what's your consideration for an orb? What do you think they are? Are they probes? Or are they something?
no, they're spirits. Yeah, they're not. Now they're not. They're younger spirits, older spirits, um, and yeah, a lot of times they could be dust. But if you look at orbs, you'll see that dust doesn't dart like that, or
Right.
like that, or if you go to my channel, I've got a YouTube channel. Is it okay to promote it? I don't
Sure.
know.
Sure. Yeah. It's what I
Okay.
want you to do. Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to YouTube and look up objects and orbs, and I'll tell you this, uh, this would make it really easy for you. If you type in Chastain House, Blue Ridge, Georgia, and find the one that has a little blue dot, objects and orbs, that's my YouTube channel. Thank you. You can see the Chastain House video that I was telling you about, where you can be able to see all the orbs. You'll be able to see where I will ask an orb to turn on a cat ball, and it will. Say, hey, can you turn that on again? Do do do. Yep. Turn it off. Turn it on. Turn it off. Like that.
That's neat. That's
Uh,
neat. Yeah.
yeah. And then, but once again, you can also go to Twin Paranormal, and I saw some stuff last night. They were in Arizona, and these guys, and they were using the cat balls there, and they ended up running out of their investigation. That's how crazy it was. And I also use an app called Spirit Talker. There's two apps that are really good, and people talk about, oh, well, they load those up. No, put it in airplane mode if you think that.
Les, I got
It's
a question. I see a lot of these shows. I see
yes.
Bigfoot hunters and I see ghost hunters,
Hmm.
and they go in there real brave with all their equipment. then when they see something, they run and scream like little girls. Now, what's it? Why do it? I mean, you face it off, be strong and military like and face it,
Yes, yes, yes. So I will say that this is the first time out of over 200 shows that I saw those guys run off. They go to like sanitariums and sanatoriums, and stuff like that. Yeah. But back to the apps, because I want everybody to do this, because even here I get people that give me those weird looks when you say, "Oh, ghost, really?"
Yeah.
And I've got a really good ghost story to tell you just real quick too. But Spirit Talker is good. It's a couple bucks. Perilous. If you have Android, Perilous is free. I don't know if there's a Perilous for iPhone. Perilous. Once you turn them on, you say, "Hey, is there anybody here who would like to say hello? What is your name?"
What's those? How much do those little ghost balls cost?
$20 for like 6.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. They're. So if you look them up, you put Ghost Hunter light up toy. You could do that on Amazon. Yeah, those are wonderful. So I'm going to tell you this quick ghost story that will leave you almost speechless. Okay, so just outside here, let me see. I don't know if you can see. Can you see all the outside there now?
Yeah, I see the trees. Yeah.
Trees. All right, good, good. And down there, okay, so that's where we have speaking with the spirits. When it's warm out. When it's warmer though, we have speaking with spirits. I'll get out my ghost hunting tools. We'll just sit out there and we'll just look at the forest. Well, turn on my Spirit Talker, and I said, "Is there anybody here?" And I got somebody said, "Someone here is a poltergeist." And I said, "Okay, who's a poltergeist?" And they said, "Gary." I'm like, "Okay, Gary, if you're the poltergeist, I want you to go mess around with those chimes." Of course, we both know, yeah, you did. Like, okay, great. Well, we come on in the house. This is July 11th. We were going to go down to Helen, Georgia, this really cool place with kind of a German town. And my wife went to go get her debit card. Could not find it. And we went to Walmart. They didn't have it. And I said, "Well, hon, what I'll do is I'll just transfer, you can transfer your money to my debit card and we'll just use that." "Okay, sure." Guess what? My debit card was gone too.
Wow.
Oh, she was freaking out. Then she's like, "Hun, you need to turn on the Spirit Talker." And okay, all right. So we turn it on. And it says, "I like talking." Okay, great. And then we said, "Who is this?" The last name is Williams. Okay. A name comes up, Williams. Like, all right, Williams. And then right after that, it said, Gary. Gary Williams. Like, all right, Gary. Now remember Gary. Okay. So
did you really know Williams?
No.
No, okay.
No. But remember that name, because I'm gonna that's the fun part. Okay. So we asked him more, and we said, and he kept saying like desperate. Then it said money. They're like, "Where is it?" And then it said right. My wife turned right. There's a stack of towels, and I'm sure you probably know what happened next. Yes, we did find the debit card. Yeah, and this has happened a couple of times. My wife is not good with her keys, not good with her cards, but they will show up in weird places. So
was your card in your wallet?
I never did find the card. I never did find my card, but she found her cards. Yeah, they were all together, and they were stuck in some towels.
Okay. Do you usually put your debit card in your wallet?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And somebody just took it right out of your wallet.
Gone. And there's nobody up here. There's nobody up here in the mountains.
That's a criminal ghost, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Or a playful one. So then we got the name. Then it said recently died. Okay. All right. Because the Spirit Talker has a log on it. And I still have the log. And then it said something to the effect of can't breathe. Well, here's where I'm going to smile, because I said, "You know what? I'm going to look up Gary Williams' obituary just to see." And guess what? There's an obituary for Gary Williams. And you know where he's from? My town, Mineral Bluff, Georgia. And guess what? He just died.
Oh, so he come to pay a visit.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. It said Enid. Enid's kind of a weird name, but found out that Gary's wife's name was Edith. Then remember I said can't breathe. Well, guess what? Gary was a mining supervisor, and they used to do rescues at the Burra Burra mine here.
God.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
So I have that as a PDF, and I even have a lines going down to the log where almost all those lines match up with the spirit talker. So anybody who says spirit talker doesn't work, sorry, it does work. Yes.
It's an FM radio, isn't it? It's an FM receiver.
No, that's a spirit box.
Box.
Yeah, hold on here. Since we're doing this like here, and I'm just in my. Oh yeah, okay. So here's how I do. That's how I do my security cam outside.
Right.
I aim it up to the sky, and it's a Wi-Fi, so I can move it anywhere I want. That's very easy. You just go into your app for your security cam, and then just hit record. And then when you're done, you can transfer it to any device or however you look at it on your computer. Okay. Now, I'm just going to set this here right here real quick. Okay, I'm going to continue looking down at you while I'm over here playing with my box here. Okay. Oh, I got a cat ball in here too.
Yeah, it looks like you got a lot of pine wood in your house.
Yes, we do. This is a cabin up here. It is all.
That's a ghost balls, right? Could you
Oh,
show time for people? Because I wouldn't like some of those. Could you show it one more time for people? The ghost ball. Yeah.
Oh yes. Let me do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought about getting a few of those. Yeah, those are just handy.
Okay, here's another one. I just dropped it. Yeah, so let me see if this one will light up. Yes. Oh. See it lit up?
Yeah. Did you make it light up itself, or is it?
Yeah. So I just pushed in the little button. I'm going to set it right here. Okay, we're going to let it sit right here. Do you see it still?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now it's going to set.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody here who would like to say hello? Can you make that light up for me? And I have had times where they do. Now let's get back to the other. Sorry, you'll hear me kind of like, because sometimes I hear stuff. Here is the spirit. This is the box.
Yes.
That's the spirit talker box, or the spirit box.
I think I had one just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what this does, I'll just turn it on just really quick so people can kind of see. It scrolls through the frequencies. Now we all know about frequencies. Oh, and the batteries kind of run out. But what it does is it scrolls through the frequencies, and then it's been said that the spirits can use those and use the white noise to talk to you. And yes, I've got evidence of that to where it says my name. I have a video where it says, where I say, hey, can you say my name again? It goes, hey, Les. Then I've got another one that says, the boss is not, no, wait. It has a bug flyby. Yeah. Bug flyby. And sure enough, a bug flies by. It's just nuts.
I have, I've had ETs in my house, and this is hard for a lot of people. I've had infrared trail camera that took pictures of them, but also my field meter went crazy a lot of times in the middle of the room, away from the ambient energy. I guess you got to get away from sockets and all this other stuff, and ETs can do that to to magnetic energy.
Woo, yes, and I'm walking over here now because you've kind of jogged me again. Because last night, I think it was, I was recording outside, and my camera was freaking out. It wasn't working right. Oh, darn it. Oh yeah, here we go. This is my baby right here. My tri-field meter.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Yeah, this right here, if you can afford it, I'm telling this to your listeners, if you can afford it, it is worth every penny out there.
Yeah, it's $280, isn't it? Something like that.
It's not as bad now. I think you can get it for $175 or so. If you, for all you Skinwalker fans, Travis Taylor loves this, and everybody else does too, and I do too. There we go.
Yeah.
That's what it
You
looks
got
like.
the digital kind. I've got the metered kind, and it's an older one. It's about 12 years old, and it still
Yes,
works
and this
great.
this this also does RF, which I love too.
Right.
And and here's what I would like to do. Sorry to interrupt like that, but when you get goofy stuff like that, I don't know if you can see that. You see that?
No, lower your camera a
Oh,
little bit.
okay.
Okay. What are you getting? You getting something? A hit?
It's going nuts.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Sorry, I don't mean to be all over the
Maybe
place.
maybe that Gary got mad at you for talking about him,
Yeah, there we
and I called him a criminal, so maybe he's pissed off.
go. Well, it's interesting you said that. It's interesting you said that because also on the log, remember how I said that we thought he was a poltergeist?
Yeah.
And then on the log it said, "You're getting the wrong impression about me." Oh man, really? Okay. Okay. See, so they can be playful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poltergeists can be scary too by throwing stuff around, But I don't think they've hurt
Yes.
anybody. Have they ever hurt anybody that you know of?
No, no. They're always very nice. I hear, and I'm going to lay it out like I tell people. This is straight up. I think Gary and his wife Edith are here to help other people pass through. Um, because I think there's a lot of spirits that just go by. They're just
Yeah.
going down the trail. On this mountain, there used to be a settlement, and there was also a Cherokee land stone circle that's literally just a mile or two from here. So there's a lot of Cherokee lands. And so we get a lot of the word settlement and Scottish. And a lot of these people in this area are originally from Scotland. So that's another verification, especially for me, that you can do. That's one thing we were talking about. The experiencers of these things, they really just have to experience them first. But if we encourage them with the tools they need, they can do it themselves. And that's something that I'm more than happy to help people with, to teach them how to use this equipment, at least the way I do. And I really couldn't tell you everything about the Tri-Field or some of the others, but some of these other pieces of equipment and apps are very easy to use. Old cell phones, that's how I record UFOs. Old cell phones can record orbs. All you have to do is just turn your flash on constant and just leave it there and then go from there and just hit
So,
record.
you ever seen a ghost, like a cloudy figure or whatever, a transparent figure?
Yes, I see shadow figures here at the house a lot.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. I'm going to tell everybody, here's what you do. If you see them, don't be afraid of them. Just say, "Hey, look, I'm busy. Leave me alone. I know you're here. Leave me alone." And for the most fact, they'll do that because they just want to be known. They just want to be seen, and that's really it. Now, if they're throwing stuff around your house and it's coming at you, hey, say, "Hey, stop that." You have to be kind of like that with them. And I
Same
haven't really had any.
same way
Go
with
ahead.
ETs. Same with ETs. If you tell them, say, "God help me," they'll get away from you. They they
There you
they
go.
they don't go past that point of their spiritual point. We all have.
Right.
So,
Yes, that's my fifth dimension. So, how much time do we get?
oh,
Just a
you
couple
got
minutes.
about 5 minutes.
Oh, darn. Okay. All right. So, there's a few things I'm going to tell you about quantum physics really quick. You got matter, you got space. Those are two different things. If you stack them upon each other, you still have space.
Right.
So then you have things you can't see, like electrons, negative, positive. You can't see a cold. So there is in quantum physics, Einstein said this, that you can make something appear because when you look for it, when you use equipment to find it, that has to do with what they call spooky entanglement or spooky logic from quantum physics. It's those things that we bring to the light is why we do that. Now, there's still beyond that because of all those other things that are in this universe. I honestly think the fifth dimension is where God lives. or the spirit lives, or somebody lives, whoever you believe, or whatever you believe, it's uncomprehendable. We can't comprehend it
The
as much as
source,
we.
the source or the creator too. That a lot of people call it that. Yeah, I'm in. I heard that 99% of our body is not matter. We're not made up of matter. We're made up of frequencies or quantum physics, as you're saying.
Oh, what did you just say? That started with an F?
Frequencies.
Free. There you go.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, we all vibrate.
right.
And if you can imagine, if we all vibrated at 60 cycle hertz, that's
So,
a
so
hum.
all
Yeah.
the
So
all these hippies back in the 60s and 70s I grew up with, they said, "Hey, I like your vibes." That
there you go.
they
Yes.
like you, I guess, huh?
Yes. Vibrations. I
Yes.
like your vibrate. I like your frequencies, man.
Yeah.
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 Far out.
Or uh-huh. You
And I'm
you
58.
sound like you live some of that, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm 58. So I was right at the end of it, but I lived in San Francisco when I was about 6 years old. So
Yeah.
I saw him, yeah. But and I never took physics. So literally I explained quantum physics in less than 5 minutes. And the thing about it is it's elegant. And that's what they say about the equations. It's an elegant thing. You don't need to know math. Just, you know,
Yeah.
but you got to think deep.
Okay. Now
So yeah.
tell us a little bit about where we can see your YouTubes and if you have a website or something. We got a couple of minutes left.
Yes. So yeah. So if you want to find my YouTube, it's Objects and Orbs, and that's my page on YouTube. Because I apologize for not being prepared for this, but I could drop in a link. Otherwise, if you look for Chastain House, Blue Ridge, Georgia, and you'll see this wooden floor, that's my channel. So just subscribe to that. And if you look up Objects and Orbs on Facebook, that's my page. So don't go to my page, but look for Objects and Orbs group.
Right. I have both the sites here that you give me, and I'll put them in the intro content. Yeah.
Yes, and I can. I'm not sure. Do you have a website?
No, I don't have a website. I have my
Okay.
books. My books have websites, but I don't. Not personally.
Okay. All
I
right, that's
just have
fine. So
I have a business page in Facebook. I have a show page in Facebook, and
okay,
I do a lot of Facebook. So yeah.
okay. Yeah, so just I can message you off the air, and then what I can do is I'm going to send you those links directly to my drives on Google Drive, and anybody can use them, look at them, do whatever you want to do. Especially the C-130 video, my very first one. It does take a long time if you want to download it, but it does also play direct from YouTube, from Google TV, Google Drive, sorry. So you can go in there and I can tell you the planes on the C-130 are near the end.
Really?
But yeah, I'm not going to, with my videos, if you want to know the bookmarks, that's fine. But if not, I want you to discover where everything's at.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are getting interested in the spirit and the soul and the consciousness. It's the consciousness now that's a big thing for all of us to be enlightened.
Right. Yes, that's what oh gosh, yeah. I just said a few days ago, I just become enlightened, and I'm 58, and hey.
Well, Les,
Yeah, so
I've enjoyed this. This is kind of like a
yeah,
hometown talk and a show and talk, whatever. And it's feedback. I like this interview. You're very laid back, a good Southern boy, and yeah, I enjoyed it, and I hope everybody else will. I'm sure they will, and we'll post these sites on there. I'll have to have you back, and then we'll have to talk about some of your pictures. Maybe we can do a share on the
that'd be great.
And show some of the stuff that you got. So, Les Durrant, thank you so much for the show. This is the Dave Emmons Show. We're signing off. Thank you so much. It was very interesting. Thank you. Bye-bye.